Welcome to the Return to the Sun of the Show. I'm Paul,
And I'm Mark.
and tonight we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We say that about every third video, but we're going to
Correct.
do something different tonight.
Yes.
Over the weekend, Mark and I, at our various domiciles, watched Svengoolie because he ran one of our all-time favorite movies, probably my favorite Hammer movie.
And for the first time, he ran it on Svengoolie.
Yeah, so it was an all-new episode. So we're going to talk about
Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
Who calls me from out of the pit?
In the 18th century in Central Europe, a black terror swept across the face of the land. One man dared to make a stand against this evil epidemic. One man dared to hurl a challenge of cold steel against the terror of the undead. He was Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
The girls you spoke of, they were not drained of blood, but of youth, of life itself.
Her life will be yours. Yours. Her youth will pulse through your veins, my darling, replenishing, restoring. Take her.
To the death.
A master swordsman and former soldier and his hunchback assistant hunt vampires. That's about all you need to know.
good night.
So our cast tonight in Captain Kronos stars Captain Kronos himself, Horst Jansen, who we just saw in our Men Who Like Movies.
Men who love movies about men.
And I think that's very wonderful.
And the movie we watched was
Shout at the devil.
Thank you. Okay. Trying to split up the job duties tonight. John Carson is Dr. Marcus. Poor Dr. Marcus. Marcus. Shane Bryant as Paul Durwood. Carolyn Monroe. Yes, that Carolyn Monroe.
Of Adamant fame.
Yes, or of Spy Who Loved Me fame.
Yeah.
Which you would know if you watched Moonraker. Well, not yet.
Yeah.
You could know if you watched Moonraker.
It was forever and a day before I realized that the girl in the Goody Two Shoes video by Adamant was Caroline Monroe.
Yeah. It's a great video.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So she stars as Carla, a person that Captain Kronos rescues, and then she sort of joins the troop. John Cater as Grost, his hunchbacked servant. Well, partner, I would say partner.
Oh, yeah.
His
They're
hunchback partner.
equals.
They're equals, yeah. Lois Dane as Sarah Durwood, the daughter of the Durwood. So there's the Durwood family that's at the focus of this movie. She's the daughter, and who I thought for sure was the villain when I first saw this movie many years ago.
Yeah, it's been a couple decades for me.
Ian Hendry is Caro, and Caro is the thug that gets hired by the Durwoods to kill Captain Kronos in the bar. Wanda Ventham as Lady Durwood, who for most of the movie you see in a bed looking all creepily wizened and looking like one of those, when I was in grade school, we had to grow those potatoes and make them look like witches.
Oh, yeah.
That's what she looked like to me. So, William Hobbs as Hagen. Brian Tully as George Sorrell. He is a townsperson whose daughter ends up getting killed. Robert James as Pointer. And let's see, then we have Lisa, we have some of the victims. Lisa Collins as Vonda Sorrell. Susanna East as Isabella Sorrell. Stafford Gordon as Barton Sorrell. And Elizabeth Deere as Anne Sorrell, the entire Sorrell clan.
All the Sorrels.
All the Sorrels. And then Joanna Ross, another victim. Myra. There's a priest in it, Neil Sellier. There's Olga Anthony as Lillian, another victim. There's an interesting character. Gigi Gerpinar plays the blind girl in the tavern, which we'll talk about. Peter Davidson is the big man who's one of the thugs that goes along with, and so is Terrence Stewards and Trevor Lawrence. They also play thugs. Jackie Cook is the barmaid at the bar where the thugs are. And our poor Penny Price, actress Penny Price,
gets the
worst credits of all. Whore. Couldn't even give her a name.
Nope.
Julian Holloway actually did the voice of Kronos because they weren't sure that anyone could understand Horst Chance.
Yeah, Horst was German, and he was really German.
Yeah, very German.
Yeah. Man, this is one of my favorite movies ever. This is, like I said, this is probably my favorite Hammer movie. It's one of these movies I saw on the Sci-Fi Channel back in the 90s, and just absolutely fell in love with it. It has everything I want in a horror movie, because I like, I'm not the biggest fan of vampires, but I'm a big fan of vampire hunters.
Yeah.
And supernatural hunters in general. But yeah, this movie has everything. I love it.
Yeah, I remember watching it. So it might have been on Channel 44 out of Chicago. They did heavily edited horror movies.
Yeah.
On sometimes Saturday afternoons, sometimes Saturday evenings, when I wasn't watching Svengoolie. And so I remember seeing this and like Dracula 80, 1972 all in the same month. And so that's where I remember first seeing it. So probably watch a part of it from behind the couch when I was a kid. I don't know. But I think that Kronos is not as scary as I think in my head. I mean, I know 1972 is not really scary, but as a kid, I thought it was pretty scary. But I do too. I love the swashbuckling Captain Kronos. And what I love about him is, and we could talk about, we think some of the origins of Captain Kronos are, as well as his descendants. He's a very, very flawed character, which is what I like about him.
Yeah.
He's God-fearing, but flawed.
Yeah.
He's a soldier, but flawed.
He's every paladin I've ever tried to play in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. They did a good job of, it's such a shame, and Svengoolie talked about it, it's a shame that this was planned as an ongoing series to replace the earlier vampire movies.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it got stuck with a rated R in America, so it didn't go anywhere. And
did I miss something? Is there nudity in this?
It was just violence. It was for the violence.
Okay.
It doesn't. It doesn't have. No. Compared to like Twins of Evil and all that, it's pretty tame compared to that. But unfortunately, the violence got the rated R, so that killed it in America.
Yeah.
And I mean, and the timing of it was probably on the tail end of.
We were a changing audience in 1970. You had like movies like Shaft and stuff coming out, so things were getting a little grittier.
And only it could have been Captain Kronos and Blade team up.
Oh, I was gonna say Captain Kronos and Shaft. That would have been
cool. That's so cool.
What a tie.
You mentioned Descendants. I'm pretty sure Captain Kronos had a little bit of an influence, if not a lot of influence, on Blade.
Yeah.
Because they share a similar origin, except, as you probably know, Blade was born a half a vampire.
Right.
But Kronos has some supernaturalness to him because of vampires.
And he was bit by his own mother and sister.
Yeah.
Which he says in the movie. But it's clear that they were laying down some lore about him that would have probably been revealed in later movies.
Yeah.
But he's clearly more than meets the eye because he's so he's supernaturally fast with his sword.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm pretty sure it's heavily implied supernatural powers.
Yeah. Plus, speaking of lore,
Mhm.
the most obvious thing of the whole movie is the blind lady.
Yes. What is up with if anyone in the comments can tell us what she clearly is something.
Yeah. There's this woman, she's got bandages on her eyes, and she's in the tavern. And we should probably tell the plot a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
But there's this blind woman, and she's in the tavern for like in the background, and then she's featured in the foreground.
Right.
And there's nobody even acknowledges the fact that she's sitting there,
Right.
and she's drinking her wine, or whatever she's drinking. And I have a feeling that that was going to be something that was going to come along later. They probably had 2 or 3, movies just ready to go plot wise. But timing was wrong and the ratings were wrong.
Yeah, and here's a little more. And so let me go into the plot a little bit more, because there's another interesting thing they did, which could have been so cool in sequels. So the plot really is Dr. Marcus. So there's a Dr. Marcus who's on the cover of my copy of the DVD. So it's actually not. For some reason, they put Dr. Marcus on the cover. So he calls in.
Horst was too German.
I guess.
I don't know.
You know what? I want a better version.
Yeah,
I want with him on it. So anyway, I'll get rid of that. So he calls in Captain Kronos, an old friend from the war, to his village, which is plagued by deaths marked by highly accelerated aging.
Yeah.
So the women aren't drained of their blood. They do have a vampire bite.
Yeah, they're bitten.
They're bitten, but they're drained of their youth.
Yeah.
And so his partner, Professor Hieronymus Grost, who is a hunchback, and a professional vampire hunter with him. Grost basically says they're a bit skeptical of Marcus. They're not sure it's a vampire. They basically have to test their theory, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah.
Because in this world, there are and this is a quote right from the movie, as many species of vampire as there are beasts of prey. Now that is a cool concept. They could have done all different types of monsters under the umbrella of vampire.
Well, yeah, and there are. I mean, if you just look at folklore, there are so many different variations of vampires that it would have been boring movie after movie to have them basically fighting Christopher Lee.
Right.
So to have different types of vampires would have been so much fun.
Yeah, and so they do. The other thing I like about the show is they do. Gross does mystical tests.
Yeah.
And so he does this one where you put a dead toad in a box, bury it, and if a vampire passes by, the toad comes to life. And it's just clever little touches, which reminds me of The Witcher now.
Yeah.
It's very the mythology in the world they set up is clearly deep.
Yeah.
And could have gone so much cooler after this. And so I just thought I've always loved the fact that vampires who drain blood are just one type.
Yep.
While they're trying to even confirm that this is what they think of the vampire they think it is, girls keep dying. And there's this young Durwood family. So there's a young man, brother, and his sister who kind of rule the town. They live out with their father is dead. He's recently, or couple of years ago, dead.
Yeah.
There's a statue of him in town in the graveyard of the dad. They live with their aging mother, but the whole movie, I guess spoiler alert. So spoiler alert. The daughter, to me, they set up as the vampire. Because she's talking about, I never want to grow old.
Yeah.
I can't even look at my mother. She's so hideous.
Yeah.
I'm going to be young forever. And it seems like once the Durwood siblings learn about Captain Kronos, that's when suddenly these thugs are hired to kill him.
Yes.
And of course Marcus ends up actually, whoever it is, it's a hooded figure throughout the whole movie that's draining the girls of their youth. And he doesn't realize it, but Marcus is eventually turned. And then they have to do a whole scene, probably one of the best scenes in the movie, is where they have to figure out, how do you kill this type of vampire? And they did the scientific experiments on, we'll throw some holy water on him, we'll burn him, and
all the while they're doing this
he's screaming and dying, it hurts.
Yeah.
To his best friend.
Yeah.
So he Captain Kronos is torturing his best friend because they try stabbing him with a giant wooden stake. That doesn't work. It hurts like hell, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then they discover that on accident, when Kronos leans into him to do something else, another type of torture, a cross that he was wearing turns and the cross goes into him, and that's what kills him. And so they discover that these type of vampires get killed by the metal of a blessed cross.
This is God's blade.
And so that, I'm like, that there's so much lore behind, like, there's no need, especially in this. I mean, to me, that sounds like a modern. That's how they would do a modern movie, like with all of that backstory and lore. This is the 1970s, and they still had all this depth to it. My guess is another reason why maybe it didn't take off is because I don't think people nowadays. That would all make sense to everybody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a bunch of different vampires. That's cool. Yeah, because we've seen Van Helsing. We've seen this. We've seen. I think it just didn't make sense. But to me, it's so cool. There's so many cool ideas in it.
Well, again, it wasn't Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
It's probably the same reason why the 7 Golden Vampires didn't do well, because Christopher Lee, for whatever reason, couldn't be in it. So they created an Erzatz character, and then they created this whole other idea for him, which was really cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think. And they even brought in, because Peter Cushing's in that.
Yeah.
They even brought in Cushing, not as Van Helsing, but to kind of rope the kids in.
Yep.
And I don't think it did very well. And it was a Shaw Brothers co-op.
Right, yeah.
I don't know what happened.
One of my favorites. It's one of my favorites, yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, so eventually we learn that, I mean, I don't want to spoil the whole ending.
No.
But let's just say that Sarah is a red herring for sure. But a really done with red herring. There's a really cool duel in the end.
Right.
There's a cool battle in the end. Carla is used as bait, and she's great. So she like,
I don't see how we can get away from this video without talking about it.
No.
More.
Yeah, so they rescue her. They find her in the stocks.
Yeah.
Because she dared dance on a Sunday.
She danced on a
Sunday, which offends Captain Kronos. So even though he's religious and believes in God, he thinks that's BS. And so they set her. That's why, again, he's complicated. He's not quite Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane is way more committed to
he compromises his belief as his stories go along.
Correct.
Solomon Kane does, but he's very,
Kronos is not, and Kronos is willing to bed Carla. He's willing to drink. He's willing to smoke weed. I'm like, he's so cool. He's like such an anti-hero. But they find Carla, and she joins the group, and instead of just being the damsel in distress, she becomes a full-fledged member.
Yeah.
So
she's a great way to introduce things to the audience.
Correct. Gross begins training her. She's Gross' assistant for most of it. I mean, granted, of course they sleep together, but I mean, her and Captain Kronos. But I like her character. She just gets involved, and she agrees to be the bait. And even though she's being stalked by whoever the vampire is, she lays there still and waits for them to come get her. Because I mean, she's clearly like a willing participant in everything that they do.
And one of the neat parts about that particular scene is this is one of those movies where stuff that gets introduced, it's my Chekhov's everything.
Yes.
They have these bells that they run all through the forest because they're like, it's like a ring to catch vampires.
Right.
And it doesn't exactly work, but earlier in the movie, when the Durwoods are talking, their mom she's got a bell she pulls and it jingles in the house, and as Carla is like on the couch, and the vampire is coming around, the bells that they have for the mom get jingled.
Yes.
And it's like,
Yep. So they know it's the vampire.
Yeah, there was no reason for that other than a callback, and it was very well done.
It was. There's interesting, like when the girls are attacked, they get mesmerized. So there is that kind of callback to Dracula.
Yeah.
But it's more it's done really quickly. It's not,
Yeah,
this is not a romance. This is not the vampire loves these women. This is simply food.
it's yes, it's
energy
not
and food.
Christopher Lee's big
No,
red eyes
right,
staring
right,
at the
right,
camera.
right. And so I just like the fact that everything's different. Everything is like left of where you expect it to be. It's left
Yeah.
of center, and that's what makes the movie so good, in
Yep.
my opinion. I mean, and it definitely, yes, it does owe a lot to Solomon Kane. I did do some research, and they fully admit that they had read Howard, and but they really took it to a different place.
Yeah.
Really, Grossed is more the Solomon Kane, the way he looks.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
Yeah, he wears the puritanical garb.
So unfortunately, we did not get a Captain Kronos series.
What a bummer.
So there was a comic book sequel, direct sequel, done by Titan Comics, which was they did a whole Hammer.
Yeah.
Unlike the Universal Monster comic books, which so far have been, in my opinion, terrible because they're just like weird retellings of the actual movies. But this time it's from the perspective of a little boy you didn't know was there observing it. Or this time we get more of the Phantom's view than we do than you did in the movie. This was an actual sequel. All the Titan comics did actual sequels to the Hammer movies, and unfortunately, so far this is all we got. But this was really good too.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. It's the only thing it changes is that Carla's still with them. So Carla gets left behind. But my guess is if the movie credits had continued, she goes running after him.
Could be.
Because she ran early on, she ran and leaped into the wagon. So my guess is at the end, she's going to do that.
And the art for this, okay, Tom Mandrake did the artwork for it, and he does his best Gene Colan imitation from Tomb of Dracula.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah. Or if you read his run on Spectre, Tom Mandrake in the 80s did a classic, which also looks like he does do Gene Colan. And so it did look like a Tomb of Dracula version of Spectre. But so if you're looking for more Captain Kronos, this is really good. That's all we got, but that's great. I don't know where the rights for Hammer movies are now, but I would love them to do an updated. Now, of course, everyone's saying, "Hey, you're ripping off The Witcher," but it came first.
I don't know. I don't think. I don't want a reimagining or a sequel because they'll.
I know
they'll ruin it.
But in my world, it's a uniquely perfect adaptation.
Well, yes.
No, I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'll just watch the old one. I'll watch the original.
I never get tired. I don't know how many times I've watched this movie. It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else.
And it's got all the essential Hammer ingredients too. Minus,
Christopher Lee.
Minus Christopher Lee. Yeah. So I mean it's got that weird early tech, or what seems to be early tech. It's not early Technicolor, but it feels very garish, like the lighting and which I just love. I love the lighting of this, and the fact that the colors really stand out, and the blood is about as red as you can get it.
Well, one of the things about Hammer movies is there was a time in England when you could not. It was illegal to make horror movies.
Right.
You couldn't do it. So when the restriction got lifted and Hammer leaned into it, and then when they could do color, they're like, I know what I'm going to do. Here's a big thing of paint, and it just they really lean into the color.
Yeah,
the Mummy one with Christopher Lee. There's a lot of that in it as well, and the
adaptation of Dracula,
Curse of the Mummy's Hand. What the hell's the name of that movie? It's based on Jewel of Seven Stars.
Yeah,
but loosely. But it's beautiful to look at too.
Yeah, and I would say they really make everything in this movie is claustrophobic. The woods are claustrophobic. The bar is claustrophobic. The castle, ironically enough, is not claustrophobic. So the castle is really wide open, bright, and I think that was done on purpose. Like it lulls you into a false sense of security.
Yeah.
And the minute the sun goes down and Carolyn Monroe's laying on that bed and the camera just goes right to her.
Yeah.
They like, oh, by the way, now it's claustrophobic.
It's like it's like spending the night at your grandma's house on the couch, and there's nothing beyond because it's all dark.
Right.
And like in my case, my grandma had a big grandfather clock that would be ticking away, and it was spooky. You had to run to the bathroom if you had to go to the bathroom. So it recaptures that whole feeling.
Yeah, it does. And to me, like the mansion was like, what if you stayed the night in a Jane Austen novel? And then all of a sudden there's monsters in it. So,
like if Jane Austen and Mario Bava made a castle.
Correct.
That's what it would be.
It felt like it. So, yeah, just lots of really good. It's just so, and you can tell they were going to do a sequel. You can tell.
Yeah.
They just laid the groundwork for some. Yeah, too bad. What a loss for us.
Change the channel, Marge.
So, let's see. We had tonight in the Saturday night in the Sven bits. So we had a commercial. It was a cure for vampire-inspired aging.
Yes.
So it was like a cream. That was pretty funny. And was new. I hadn't seen that ever done before. They had a brand new song. The song was hilarious. That was great. Then they had Nostalgia Ferratu show up to try to solve a too drawn out puzzle of his own name.
Yes.
Which he could not do. And really, for me personally, just him and Sven riffing off each other is hilarious.
Yeah,
like, I don't even know. I don't know if that was scripted or not. Clearly the too drawn out part was he had to know what he was going to draw. But like as far as what they say to each other, I just was really happy to finally have an all new episode.
Yeah, because we honestly haven't watched a full episode in a couple of months.
Yeah,
because the common complaint that a lot of people have is to keep showing the same movies over and over again, blah blah blah. That really wasn't it for us. We just kind of got burned out on them.
Yeah.
So we kind of sat them out, but then and
I think a little bit of what burns me out is they extended the show.
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything with it.
Yeah.
You have this whole group of characters who could write new skits. But no, we keep getting Pinky in the Brain. I would eliminate he does what? He does 4 or 5 shows a year. So then maybe 4 or 5 of the episodes could do the new show he did this year. And then in reruns, I don't know. It gets boring.
Yeah.
That last half hour kills.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was just hard to get excited lately. But so this one was great though. This was back true to form and perfectly with having the new movie.
Yeah, it was there was this episode movie and Sven stuff was perfect.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It kind of harkened back to when we were kids.
Yeah.
It was that good.
Because it wasn't an old commercial that it's a brand like I wish he would do more commercials. I hate his commercials are so hilarious. Yeah. I hope that he keeps that up.
Yeah.
Or if you're too tired, Rich, have the Sven crew do it. So Nostalgia Ratu shows up for this, Gwen shows up for this, Imp shows up for that.
Yep.
You've got to use these people. You've got them.
Bobby Peru, just like the country.
All right, well, there you have it, kids.
Yeah.
Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, an all-new episode of Svengoolie. There's not too much more you can...
What a great Saturday night that was.
Yeah.
At home by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. So, loved it.
All right, well.
Next week, next time we're probably going back to Wonder Woman.
Yeah, we're back to Wonder Woman. We're going to wrap that up and get some more men who love movies about men out.
Right.
We have some other stuff in the works. It just depends on timing.
Yeah, we could go back to Ernest. We could go...
Oh, yeah, I'd love to do another Ernest.
We could probably do another Ernest again soon.
Yep.
This time we'll probably pick a more popular Ernest movie.
Yeah,
that he's in a lot.
Yes.
So we might go opposite of the last few of them.
Yeah, we don't. The thing is, too, is some of those movies we don't know how much he's in.
Correct. We're taking a long shot. I basically went to Amazon and bought every Ernest Borgnine movie I could.
Yeah.
On DVD. So that's kind of where this started.
Yeah.
And so. But yeah, we'll probably go back to Ernest.
Yeah.
Other stuff in the works, and some new stuff that we're working on for the fall.
Yeah.
So.
Well, in the meantime, you can watch Captain Kronos on YouTube, a couple places. It's probably on at least a dozen streaming services.
Yeah.
Probably on Tubi. I think it might be on Tubi.
That being said,
did you like
yeah,
the Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, or are we completely wrong?
right.
And if we are, tell us why, and we'll ignore it.
Right. No. And we'll get in there and correct you. No,
That's correct. That's all right. Nah, we're all about positivity here.
We're all here.
All right. I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
And this has been. Wait, is that how we end it?
Yeah.
Okay. And this has been the return of the son of the show.
All right, so tonight's film stars Horst Johnson as Captain Kronos from. We just saw him in. Help me.
Shout at the Devil.
Shout at the Devil. Yes, Shout at the Devil.
Under our men
Let me
who
start-
love
let me-
movies about men.
Yes.
Oh, you want to
Let me
start?
start.
Start.